Welcome back, you dumb bitches, to the Beers podcast. As always, the guillotine, looking creepy as fuck with no facial hair, Daddy Rambo, and a very special guest, back by popular demand, the hymen smasher, Ryan Maitland.
Ryan, don't clap for yourself.
I'm clapping for myself. I'm just, Kevin has overshadowed me as the best reoccurring guest. So I need to knock this one out of the park to get my fans back.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
I put a pile of corn out the other day, so I'm trying to be like Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have you back.
That's good. It's been a long time.
We were just talking about
Was
that.
it January?
I think it was deer season, so it's been quite a while.
You were here when we had the guys from Bayside Legion on, but you weren't on.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's been a while, but we've come a long way. You've done a lot in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You've acquired quite a bit of properties. You want to tell us a little bit, Ryan, about some of your methodology and how you've acquired some of these properties in the off season, and you've done so without spending a dime, right?
So I haven't acquired any properties.
Oh well, fuck me.
I guess I've got a couple spots that I can hunt. So it just pays to just, I guess, have connections and just talk to people. And so I've got a guy I train jiu-jitsu with. I was looking up Onyx for a spot that I was literally scouting. And I only know this guy for like a week. And he came up on Onyx, and I sent him a Facebook. I added him on Facebook at like 10 o'clock at night. He accepted me back, and I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, man, not trying to be weird, but is this your house? And he messaged me back, and we went from there. But he's got like 4 acres, but it backs up to public land. So it's really thick in there. So really, I'm trying to just bait it and just try to get a deer or two out of there. But it also gives me really good access to that public land. Like, I've seen a lot of deer there. So he said I can park there anytime I want and get in there. Mother-in-law bought 3 acres of land in Salisbury, which is good. And then I got a lead on what I think is the best private land in the state of Maryland.
No shit, that's a pretty big claim.
It's a bold statement, Cotton.
It is bold, but I'm going to stand by it. So there is a private property on the lower eastern shore, the lowest. I'm not going to say what it is.
It's in the mountains of West Virginia.
The lowest of the eastern shore. And in the middle of this property, if you look up best public land in the state of Maryland, it's there. There's a piece of private land, and with my profession, I'm a strength conditioning coach, so I train a lot of middle school, high school athletes, get them bigger, faster, stronger.
Mark Bell.
One of their dads of my clients
in his gym
owns that land. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, I offered him some personal training. I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to go on your land, but I know they use it exclusively during rifle season. And they only shoot bucks. And I'm like, look, man, I won't go on there during rifle. I'll stay out of there 2 weeks before rifle or any gun season. I was like, I just want to go in there with a bow and shoot some does.
Fuck yeah.
And I figured that's my way in. And the kid said he talked to his dad. Said his dad was totally cool with it. I haven't talked to his dad yet, so I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. But it'd be a great spot for me to just get my feet wet and get in there. I mean, it's literally 2 public land here, right in the middle. Okay. So it's like a sanctuary. So it's just been obviously talking to people. I always like to joke that one of my first questions when I talk to a new client is well, how big's your property? Where do you live? First question I ask is where they live, and then when they tell me where they live, normally I'm like, okay, you got a lot of land? I'd love to live out there. Yeah. And normally that opens up some leads.
Is that a requirement when they're filling out their application?
Yeah, you should put that on a gym application.
Dude, but I'll tell you, I had a client call the other day. And they were like, yeah, my daughter, she had an accident. She had a ATV accident. We don't live on a farm. And I was like, you don't say.
Big farm, huh?
Let me come see where this accident
was. I'm not to inspect it.
I just want to see.
Yeah, my daughter, she a really bad accident, paralyzed from the Yeah, but there's property you live on.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been introduced to a couple public land spots, down to a friend down on the Eastern Shore. I don't know if I want to throw his name out there, but he's been helping me out, show me some of the ropes. So I definitely have some options this year compared to last year where I feel like I scouted 10 different properties before the season because I just moved there and then I ended up only hunting like 2 of them. So I've definitely got some more options this year.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. You can, you don't have to blow places up.
Yeah.
That's why I like having the options that I have. I mean, and half of it is public land, but like being able to go to one property, the wind's good for this property, so I'm going to go there. The wind's bad for that property, I'll go to this property. Or like morning hunts, I have no access there. But I got access here, so it gives you options, and it's nice to have options.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about stocks, player. I'm talking about hunting property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you've been getting after it in the off season. Also, you've had some troubles with. You realized, you said that you were completely unaware of the fact that you were experiencing target panic.
Yeah.
And John and I both fought with it. And I even fought with it some last year, actually, towards the end of deer season. I am a loser. And you were just saying how you never even realized that you had it, because there's so many different like forms of target panic. And but when you got this hinge, then it became like you realized, oh, wait a minute, I was having target panic. Tell us about that a little bit.
When I got the hinge, archery became fun.
Oh.
Wow. Which was crazy. Like, I was like shooting way more. It was just, the pressure was off shooting with the hinge. Like with the wristy, which I was using at the time, I think I was just too caught up in the pursuit of perfection. And, with the hinge, it kind of took that out of my control to where like I just had to focus on being good enough. And then with the shot, like it kind of equaled out. But it kind of took some of the control off of me and put it on it's kind of hard to explain, but that really helped me. And I realized just how much as much as I was trying to squeeze that trigger, I was slapping it, I was trying to guess where it was going and like hitting it, and then trying to like, it's hard to explain. I don't know the term for it, but I was trying to see where my arrow went before it got there, which was messing with my follow through, and the hinge took all that away. So I learned the hard way that I should have been shooting a hinge from the start.
Yeah.
And I had that hinge for the greatest 3 weeks of my archery career. And then the surprise shot got me.
What happened, Ryan?
So I went out there and I was loving this hinge. And
like physically?
Physically, I lubed it up a couple times.
Baby.
But
how you talking?
We got to save that for Beers and Deers After Dark.
Yeah, we'll get there. Stay tuned.
But I went out and I was just reading some stuff on how to shoot, like some different release techniques. Because I was taking it and I was just kind of getting that rotation. That rotation was getting the shot. And I forget what exactly it was, but it was just a slightly different way. And I was only 10 yards from my target. But, I made the mistake of the release I had a lanyard, and I took it off like a day in. I was like, this is dumb. I don't need this. I got it.
Be a man.
Yeah.
And I started shooting it, and the surprise shot was very surprising. And my arrow went through like a little metal fence in my yard and shattered.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And I was like, what the fuck just happened? I found my release 10 yards from my bow, picked it up, and it was kind of dented up. And I was like, God damn it. Bow, it shot into my bow, but luckily it shot into my my riser. I only really chipped some paint. Made a minor chip in the aluminum, but nothing that's going to mess with it. But completely missed my rest, completely missed my sight. I didn't get hurt.
Yeah, thank God.
Very
Mr.
thankful.
Hand.
Yeah, very thankful. But I felt so stupid because we made fun of that guy at the tack so much.
Yeah, we did.
And then as soon as I shot it, I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, we made fun of guys that done that, but honestly, you and I have both done that. So it's like, it happens. It does happen.
Yeah.
But you're still a fucking idiot, and I felt like an idiot when I did it. You know what I mean? And I did it in the field, which is fucking even worse. So,
Yeah.
I mean, dude, shit happens,
Yeah, that's what I got. And that's what I got a hunting bow for. It's like, I got my Hoyt, and that thing is rock solid through what I put it through. I'm glad I bought a decent bow. The release was a true ball. The customer service there was great. I sent it in.
Spectacular.
And they were like, hey, we can either fix it. We'll try to fix it if we can. If not, we'll give you credit. So they actually ended up giving me a credit, which they didn't have to do because it was totally my fault towards a new release. And I ended up, and I kind of regret this now, but I kind of think it's a good thing. I ended up going with a thumb button. Just because I was thinking in the field, I was still apprehensive even with the hinge. It had a safety. I was really apprehensive about not having control over my shot. Like, I think that would have led to target panic of being like, when the deer, say it's broadside, I'm like, oh, am I going to shoot or is it not? Like, is it going to shoot when I want? I think that would have led to target panic. So, got the thumb button. And I'll tell you what, I really liked it at the start, and then I really hated it. I thought about going back to my wristy. Called Seth one day. I'm like, what hinge should I buy? Like, I'm just going to have to hunt with a hinge. And then, honestly, over the last day and a half, it started clicking for me. And I was telling Seth about this. I realized that I was having a lot of target panic because of my target. And
okay.
I was so dialed in on trying to hit the bullseye of my target or trying to hit specific spots of my target that I was overthinking my shot.
Yeah.
I bought a cheap 3D target. If you're listening, don't buy a shooter. Get the Glendo. It's 100 times better. Don't listen to the Amazon reviews. But I got the 3D target, and just not having to focus on a little tiny spot and trying to focus on the pursuit again of perfection, I felt so much more relaxed. I felt so much more control of my release. I started shooting way better. I started having fun shooting again. And it kind of got me thinking about what Seth was saying, where he's always like, you should change your release up all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always like, man, you should do that with your target, just trying to change up what you're aiming at.
And that's like you hear guys talk about blank veil, and that's that same principle, because your target can give you target panic because you're looking at that little dot and you're trying to keep your pin inside that little dot, and every time it gets out of it, you try to drop it and bam, you punch your trigger. But when you've got just an area like you do on these 3D targets, that it kind of takes that issue out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been shooting just down here in the basement, maybe 3-4 yards, at just a little block target. And I don't pick a spot. I just make sure the pin is inside the target so I don't explode my arrow.
Yeah.
And just go through the motions of just rolling into that hinge. And it's feeling good.
It makes target panic, well, like Ryan was saying, target panic will make archery not fun.
Yeah.
It's like you get irritated, you get frustrated, and dude, and when you relieve that, it's like, it's a great feeling, man. It's like getting that monkey off your back, dude.
Yeah.
One of the things I realized is, and this is no fault to you guys, but you hear all the time the quote, like, comparison is the thief of joy. And I don't know if it's just who I am, but like I strive for perfection. And it's hard when I'm shooting with you guys, and like obviously I've only been shooting for 2 years. Yeah. But like I want to be just as good as you guys, if not better.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you guys are talking about the tack, doing this, and I'm like, why am I not even getting close to where I want to be? But I had a realization, and a lot of these things, like you just kind of like, you're like sitting on the couch after shooting, you're like just quiet, just contemplating life, like after a bad round, and I'm like, I realized that I'm not a natural shot. For me, archery. Now, I've been with people that are way worse, but I'm not a natural Levi Morgan or John Dudley or whatever these great marksmen are. I have to work for it. So for me, focusing on the process, focusing on getting a little bit better rather than trying to be a world-class archer right off the bat has been great for me. And I think that's why the target's been great switching is I'm not thinking, hey, I need to get this in the black. I need to get this in a kill range.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking find the bullseye. I'm thinking find the foam, find the kill area.
Yeah. And you still want to be in that heart, but it's like you don't have that hard boundary of the dot.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, exactly. But I realized with the thumb button, I'm practicing with that now because I think that is the way to go for hunting. For me, I really like the anchor points a lot more with a handheld release compared to a wrist release.
Me too.
I feel like even with that thumb, I can kind of punch it, but I can't punch it like I can a wristy, to where I can actually get a good surprise shot with it with my own. But I do realize that coming in as soon as the season's over, so I'm practicing my thumb button now because that's what I'm going to hunt with. As soon as the season's over, I will have another hinge, and I will spend a majority of my off-season hunting with that hinge. I wish I did that more in the beginning. I think it would have made me a better shot. It would have made me more comfortable, and it would have led to better quality practice.
I mean, John and I have said that quite a few times about like it's the best way to start. It's just, man, it's such a
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like the archery alone is tough. And then to throw the hinge in, like to start out with it, it seems like it's so much, but it would be the best way.
If that's all you knew.
Yeah, maybe it's not that much. That's why, like, I think it's, I don't know. If you could start archery, I think the hinge would be the best way to start initially.
Yeah.
If me and my lady, who's sitting in the back of the camera over there, if we were ever son, starting him off with a hinge.
Are you?
And I'm not even going to let him shoot anything else.
It's tough, man. It is. And that's like, I started Wyatt with a regular release, but I drilled it home to him about pulling through the shot. Like, I don't even know if he knows you can just punch it with your finger.
Oh, that's probably good.
I don't even know if he knows that because I've never told him. Like, I tell him, like, his travel is real tight, and I tell him wrap your finger around it, and then you drive your arm back, and you pull through your shot.
Okay.
So, like, I don't even know if he knows he can punch the trigger.
Well, then
you know what I mean.
Then he's on the right path.
Yeah. But I would still like to get him with a hinge. I'd still like to get him to try it out. It's like this year I might have him play around with it.
I see the merits of a wrist release where it's a lot, especially people that grew up like shooting guns, like it's a trigger.
Yeah.
So I see the value in that, and I also see the value in having something wrapped around your wrist at all times. I mean, I think you could, if you started day one and you put a wrist release on and you went hunting, you'd have better success than someone who had just started at the same time as you with the hinge. They had like 2 weeks at 20 yards.
Yeah.
But I think that person with the hinge is going to be way better off in the long term because that person with the wrist is going to develop really bad habits for the most part. Obviously, there's exceptions to the rule, but I think that wrist release is really easy to put on and have success with right off the bat, but how much better you're going to get is capped. To where if you actually learn how to shoot the hinge and really learn how to shoot properly, you can become a lot better over a period of time.
Very well said. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like putting off the immediate gratification for later greater gratification.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
That's a fucking thing, dude.
Yeah. Ryan and I. All right. Well, let's give Ryan a break because he's probably his brain's fried right now.
He's had all this just pent up.
Yeah, I know.
He needs to get it out.
I've got more I wanted to talk about, but I feel like we've been putting everything on him, so we'll give you a break for a minute. I got a question for you, John, and this is we can all put in on this, give our opinion. But I thought about this. We'll start with this scenario. All right, so say you've got a spot that you found, and you find a lot of sign in there, and we've all experienced this, especially in Sikaville, and it's just littered with sign, looks really good, like obviously deer are moving in there, but you go and you hunt it, and you don't see shit.
No.
How many hunts do you give that until you decide to move on?
It's a good question.
How do you play that?
That's a really good question because there's a lot of factors that go into deer movement. Wind, the temperature, everything. I'd probably run it through the gamut. You know what I mean? Give it probably 5 sits with like different like weather circumstances, like different winds, shit like that.
Right.
And if nothing happens, then leave it alone.
Yeah. Now, what about time of day? Would that be a factor too for you?
Yeah. I mean, you might start off with 2 morning hunts with like a north wind or a northwest wind, and then if nothing, then switch it up to evening. Right.
And then nothing, then try a different wind direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna give it a pretty good shot.
Yeah. I mean, if you're seeing a lot,
there's rubs, there's tracks. I mean,
they're coming through there, obviously.
Yeah. So it's like just a matter of when.
Yeah. So you got to give it your all.
Yeah.
And you can't just sit there once or twice and say, "Oh, they're not fucking coming through here." You got to give it, all the different wind directions and everything else.
Yeah.
Because you got to think like the deer. When do they feel the most safe with a certain wind direction?
What about you, Ryan? What are you doing?
Well, John said that very well because I was full on that twice.
Yeah.
And now I'm rethinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in the same boat.
I feel like I don't know, like I have limited time to hunt where, I mean, I say that in myself because I don't hunt as much as I'd like. It's where I can get about 2 evening sits in a week, and then I can get a couple morning sits in, which I can talk about later. It's my goal this year. But with those evening sits are precious to me because I only get 2, you know. So I'd probably sit there, and if I didn't see anything after 2 hunts, I'm probably gonna go somewhere else where I might have a little bit more success.
Right.
Well, and if that's all you got is afternoons, I understand that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody's different. So if that's all you can afford to really give it, that's all you're gonna give it. You know?
Yeah.
There's different circumstances.
For me, like, I initially thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, man. I only get so many hunts a year, so I'm sitting there 2 or 3 times, and like you said, I'll probably do like 2 evening sits off the rip, and if nothing in the evening, I'll try a morning sit. If I get nothing then, I'm probably gonna move on. But now that being said, it's different. Like, it depends on the property too. Like, say if that's on private land where I'm hunting, where there's no pressure.
Trail
I
camera.
might put a trail camera up and play that. I'll see what that shows me, you know, and I'll go off of that. If it's public land,
Yeah.
especially if I'm like going down to Ryan's where I'm down there for a week, I'm not wasting fucking 4 days sitting on a place when I don't see shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of there and move quick. Like I'm gonna be like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll follow some of this sign, and I'll go to find out maybe where they're coming from, because maybe they're not hitting this spot till dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all this activity that I'm watching is dark. So I'm going to follow the sign further and try to find it closer to a bedding area. Or maybe it'll end up at a food source and then you backtrack off of that. But either way, I'm going to play it differently depending on the hunt and whether it's public or private. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because that's something I think most of us have come in contact with.
Oh, yeah.
And as like scouting in the summer, like I'm seeing some of these areas that have decent sign, and I know personally, like, yeah, but it's not really a great spot to sit, which is crazy because like you might come into that property initially and want to sit there, but I think most of that movement's going to be at night or just different time of the season, because that's a factor too, because where the deer are now in early season and where they are in October when the foliage is down, late October or November, it's 2 different places.
Yeah, that's why the trail camera is so deceiving. You know, you're getting all these bucks, you're getting all these big, huge bucks you've never seen before, and then once the season hits, they're fucking gone.
Yeah.
Because where they summer and where they fall, a lot of the times is different.
Yes. So. Most of the time, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, in my experience, fucking always. But I know there's places that it's not the case, you know.
Yeah, like I got that one little 8-pointer that wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'm getting him almost every day.
Yeah.
And I know that's his home range, so I'll probably see him this fall.
I finally got an 8-pointer on camera.
Hell yeah.
It's a basket 8.
Ugh.
Yeah. I was like, he's fucking inside his goddamn ears, motherfucker.
Like that 9-pointer I sent you, it was a nice fucking buck.
Yes.
But I've never seen him before, and I probably never see him again.
Is that the hole in the fencer?
Yeah, baby.
It's a beautiful deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell, beautiful deer. Ryan, so I got some other stuff I wanna touch on to shooter pass too, but let's talk about these saddles, dude. You got a tree diaper, bro. What do you think about that thing so far?
Well, I have very little time playing with it compared to you. Like literally, you gave me a 101 course on how to use it today. I think it's cool. Like so far, like I think it allowed a lot of versatility to my hunting. It allowed me to hunt different areas. I mean, that's why I got it, just for that extra 30%, like we talked about, that you can hunt. And it's definitely cool. But I'll be honest with you, my climber will likely be my go-to this year. Yeah, and I say that because I think I'm in a different perspective than most people when they come into like their equipment, where my climber is 14 pounds. It's incredibly light. I have the Summit open shot. And it's sort of like redesigned. I think they redesigned it a year or two ago to where it doesn't go outside of me width-wise and it doesn't go above me. Yeah. So it's incredibly low profile. And a lot of my summer scouting has led to me being like, I can hunt a lot of these trees with a climber.
Yeah.
And then with that, the platform is super minimal. But I think the saddle will help me. But I was telling you, I'm really excited for the saddle because my climber, it's a hand climber, I can saddle hunt out of my climber because I can fold.
What?
because the XOP is a 2-in-1, I can fold that seat up, and I can easily I can switch to saddle hunting in 3 seconds.
Yeah. Or you could even use the seat as your platform.
I could do that as well. So for me, it adds a lot of versatility.
You're getting wacky.
To where I'm super excited for, because there's some spots where I'm like, I could probably only get 15 feet up, but if I hunt on the other side of the tree and just and literally hook up a saddle, then I'm good to go. And I think with the saddle, a lot of people, they go from heavy climbers like the Summit Steel or whatever, where like they go to it and it's a drastically different weight wise. But for me, if I went with exclusively my saddle setup, it would be heavier than my climber.
Yeah.
Any way you cut it.
A lot of that is because of how heavy that platform is, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's
still heavier.
what it is.
Yeah, it's still heavier.
But I think it's cool to have different
Options.
Tools in your toolbox. So like I'm excited to learn how to use it. I think I'll probably use it more as a saddle out of my climber this year than anything. But I mean, I've got my sticks, and for sure, I'm definitely going to use it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
It's nice having options.
Yeah.
You know, once again, we come back to that options, and that seems like the theme of today is it's just, you know, you've got to be able to play things like you got to be able to play the hand you're dealt. Okay, so whether that's different properties, playing off a wind direction, or the trees that you're available to hunt, having a climber, having a hang-on, having a saddle, having options is giving you more chances to kill deer. Yeah. So, like, if you can give yourself more options, if you can add another card to your hand, why the fuck not do it, you know? Yeah. And that's just the way I've been looking at it. Because, honestly, I'm really kind of having fun with it. Like, I like customizing it, and I've chopped this thing up and fucking cut shit off of it, and like I'm starting to get
key components, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Don't need that. Fucking just cutting this off. It's just, it's cool, and I think it's definitely going to be a large part of my game. But I agree with you. I don't know if it's not going to like replace my climber. I'm still going to use my climber.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I would never use a hang-on like we talked about today. Yeah. Like you spent all that time setting the hang-on up. I would not mess with that. I'd set those sticks up and just saddle hunt out of it. That's where I see a huge advantage of leaving trees with preset sticks.
Yeah, I see that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like, because that is really cool.
Yeah, I could get down with that.
Yeah.
But setting sticks up and
every time is like,
I can't see I can't, even if I get really good at it, I can't ever see myself climbing a tree with my saddle as fast as I can with my climber.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And
really?
you gotta remember, so this is us speaking from a standpoint of never hunting with the fucking things. So if you're a saddle hunter and you're listening to this and you're like, these guys are fucking wrong, we might be. We haven't hunted with them yet. You know what I mean? This is just our initial impression of them playing with them in the off season. So I don't want to come off as like know-it-alls or that we're writing these things off, because we don't. What do we know? You know what I mean? This is our first impression.
I could be on this podcast next year with a brand new trophy line saddle.
Yeah, with a totally different opinion about it.
I don't know. I can get up my tree quick in my climber.
Yeah, I want to give a short shout out to Corey Delgado. I hope I pronounced your last name right. He gave me some good recommendations on some sticks and shit. This was, of course, before I bought my sticks. I bought X-Op. But, yeah, thanks, dude. And he was talking to me about saddles, and he's been hunting with it, and he fucking loves it. He told me about an Ascender.
What does he use?
The saddle that he uses, he told me, he uses the Wild Country Ropeman. He's got a trophy line and Novix steps. He said he uses the Amsteel daisy chains instead of regular tree straps. It drops weight and kills noise. I get that because the metal clips. And that shit is really nice, this Amsteel stuff. It's this rope, and it's super thin. It's stronger than paracord. It's like 1,400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And it's super thin, and you can, like, interweave it. So I bought some, and I watched the YouTube video on how to interweave it, and I made myself a daisy chain. And this daisy chain is basically like a bunch of loops that I can just wrap it around my tree, push it down, lock it in. So there's no like buckle to pull or tighten or anything. None of that. It's just this little rope. It's fucking sick. John's like, yeah, dude, sounds great. I gotta call
I don't fucking know. You guys are talking brain surgery to me now.
I think the like big appeal with the saddles, they're so customizable. You can really set them up for what you like, your style. And I think that's almost a negative for me, to where I'm not a tinkerer. Like, you're a tinkerer. Like, you get this saddle, and he's setting me all these ideas. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this. I'm like, dude, I just want to learn how to use the thing, and once I'm comfortable using it, I'm just going to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got a bow press in your room.
In my bedroom. I do.
So for me, I'm like, no, I just want to learn how to use it, and if I need to mess with, I'm gonna go to someone who knows more than me. So for the saddle, I just want to learn how to use it, and that's what I think I like about my climber, is that I am afraid of heights, and I'm just now really like last year I became comfortable using it.
You trust it?
So I trust it,
Yeah.
and with the saddle again, it's cool, but at the same time, like if you're really into like that AM steel stuff. Like, I'm not really going to mess with that.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're into that, it's super cool because you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. I like the customizable because I am a tinkerer. Everything I have, I want to tweak it. I want to make it better. You know what I mean? I'm not. The same thing with my hang on, you know, or my climber. Like I tweaked it, you know what I mean. I've changed things. I've fucking made upgrades to it, you know. And I'm always looking for the next way to make my life easier. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool.
Yeah, I hung my hang on. We talked about that last pod, and I'm looking at ways to make that more comfortable for all day sits.
Yeah,
because it's right there at the hole of the fence. It's the tree I've been hunting in with my.
That's your honey hole.
Yeah, it's my honey hole. And sitting in that thing all day, I know it's going to be a bitch.
Yep.
So I've been looking at just like removable like armrests.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to get something like that.
Yeah.
Because just sitting in that thing all day without like an armrest.
Dude, just take the fucking lull out there and fucking put a lazy boy up in that tree.
I probably should.
Just fucking 8 ratchet straps to the back of a lazy boy. Yeah.
I'll just tell Gravy. I was like, yeah, there's a tree down back there. Let me go move it.
Yeah. Or just fucking park the lull up there with the lazy boy in it.
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't that be sick? You would sleep the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great fucking naps. Great naps.
Oh my
Killed
God.
no deer today.
I slept my fucking dick off, though. I am well rested.
How often did you hunt that spot compared to any other spot last year?
I hunted that spot probably 70% of the time. And
Wow.
killed.
Have you ever
How
thought
many deer
about?
did you kill out of that single stand last year? It's fucking hot down here, by the way.
It is hot. 4 to 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
4 or 5 deer
Yeah.
out of the same spot.
Out of the very same tree.
That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
How many deer did you kill last year? 10?
8.
8?
Yeah, 8.
8. Yeah. The year before you killed 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've still yet to kill 10 in a year. I'm getting close. Fuck.
It's almost too much.
Tell Kevin Dvorak.
Yeah.
That's like September for Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to say I would like to be more selective this year. But we both know that's not gonna fucking happen.
It's not gonna happen. The first doe that walks in front of you is dead.
Yeah.
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 And the second.
And the third.
And the third.
Fourth.
And the
fifth.
sixth. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say, no, I'm waiting for a buck, and then that's not gonna happen.
You know, I thought about that this year, and honestly, I don't know if it's because I don't have shit on camera yet, and that might be a lot of it. But this year, I don't think I'm gonna wait for a buck.
No.
No, like last year, I waited till what? October or November, I think.
How many does you let walk?
A lot.
So you probably could have crested 15.
Well,
No.
see, it's weird like that. You know, like yes, I let does walk, but then would I have went and hunted like so much later? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's like you can't really say like, oh well, if I would have killed those does that I let walk, I would have had 15 does.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. The math doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But theoretically, sure.
Yeah.
I let a bunch of does walk, and I let a basket 8 walk. I let a lot of small bucks walk, but I think this year, I definitely opening weekend, I'm fucking icing a doe. I mean, 100%. But this year, I don't know how much I'm going to let does walk.
I tell you one thing, I didn't let a single doe walk by me, Daddy.
No.
No.
What about you, Ryan? What are you gonna let anything walk?
No.
Nothing.
The spikes, anything
I'll
like that?
even have to. I told Seth off air that a spike I'm probably gonna let walk.
Mm.
Just
See, you know what that is right there?
What's that?
Growth.
Yeah.
I let actually pass on a spike last year.
Okay.
With me and Seth,
Yeah.
and I don't regret it. Does, I will not let any. If a doe walks by me, I'm gonna let it have it.
Yeah, baby.
Fawns, I'll probably let them pass. I'll even think about it though. But
Make a great sandwich.
that's what I was thinking. But I think anything like a legal buck for me this year, like a 6-point buck,
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You know,
This is your third year.
Third year, and like my goal is more of I don't really care about shooting a big buck right now. Like the buck I got last year, like that would have been my goal this year.
Yeah.
So this year, honestly, I would just want to focus on execution a little bit better. And I'd like to get, like my goal, I'm setting it pretty modest, is only 3 deer with my bow. I'd like to get 3 deer with my bow this year. And if a 6-pointer walks by me, I'm going to shoot it. If a nice 4 walks by me, I'm going to shoot it.
3 deer with your bow. Sounds like a good weekend.
Sounds like a great week.
Hell yeah. I think you're going to go above and beyond your expectations.
I'm going to set it right now. I think you're going to crest 5.
I think he's going
That
to
would be-
I'm going to say 5.
I would be so happy with 5 deer.
Yeah. I think you're probably going to kill more than 5, but
You're going to find 5. I'm just kidding. Nah.
I think it's just setting expectations and just knowing, like, you know, you want to go out and you want to shoot a deer every sit, but you realize that that's just not realistic. And then it's just, you're going to have failure in terms of having a deer come to shooting range or being able to take an ethical shot more often than you're going to have a deer walk 20 yards broadside.
Absolutely.
So I think just being, for me, it's just like I need to reel it in terms of just focus on making putting the needle in the right direction this year compared to last year.
Yeah.
So I told Seth, I don't mean to keep saying that, but I just don't talk to you directly as much.
no, it's fine.
But, you know, I listened to a thing from James Clear, and I might have talked about this before, but he talks about different levels of mastery. And he says for the beginners, focus on execution.
Yeah.
He said for the intermediate, focus on strategy. And he said for the master, focus on mindset. And I think that that's applicable to all things. Now, I'm still very, very much a beginner when it comes to deer hunting. So last year, I really didn't know much. To where, like, my first year hunting, I was kind of on autopilot, where Seth was telling me exactly what part of the tree to climb, where to face.
Yeah.
To where last year I was making real decisions for myself. So this year it's like I'm not going to overthink things, or I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to go in with a clear plan of this is where I've seen deer. This is where I think they're moving. I'm going to sit up there and just see what happens. So I'm really focused. And then I had a lot of trouble with execution last year. I had a lot of trouble where I had deer come into range, where last year, realistically, I should have had 6 deer, minimum.
True.
But I didn't. I only had 2.
That's a good year, dude.
Yeah,
I'm happy with 6.
I should have. If I was more focused on doing the little things right, I would have had at least 5 deer.
And at your second year, that's fucking impressive.
And I think that's why, like, this year, my goal is to go back to the basics. And I really just want to focus on putting myself in front of deer. And then when the opportunity comes, I want to be able to capitalize.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very easy to overthink. I still overthink.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't know. Do I want to sit in this tree or that tree?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
It's tough.
I still catch myself sometimes, especially on new pieces of property, or if I'm like running and gunning type style, going in and I'm like, do I sit here? Fuck, that spot doesn't look bad either. Like, do I stop? Do I press a little forward more? Am I gonna bump deer? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I still struggle with that shit too. But I think that's something I don't know if that's ever going to go away. I think you're always going to be a little unsure about your setup, especially new properties. Properties you're familiar with, no. Like, we know the properties we've hunted for a while, where we go and where we don't, and what we, you know what I mean? But execution is the big thing. Like, John, for example, like, John, whenever a deer comes in range with you, are you ever concerned whether or not, like, that deer's going to, like, oh, come on, just make a good fucking shot? Do you ever think stuff like that? Or
No. No.
Yeah.
I pick a hair on that fucking deer, and I aim for that hair, and 9 times out of 10, I'm hitting that motherfucking hair.
Yeah, and I think that's something that comes with time. Like, you get a lot more confidence, and I think, like, you're going to build that a lot this year. Because, like, I know last year, like you said, you had a little problem with execution where you had all these deer you could have killed. But I think as you grow and get better, those deer will no longer be deer you could have killed, but deer you know you're going to kill.
Yeah. Like that buck you shot. Do you remember the sequence at all?
No.
No. Yeah.
I just remember it was the deer. I thought I spooked him. I was pissed off because those 3 does, 3 that I saw were going right for that, and I ranged it. And I was like, damn it. And they ran off, and I thought I was done. And then that buck happened to walk exactly in that spot I ranged. I don't remember anything.
It's fucking nuts. But as time goes on and as you get more deer under your belt, you will tell yourself, okay, slow down. Remember this, remember that, remember this, remember that. And I think every deer the past 2 seasons, I remember everything about that shot. I remember where the pin was. I remember squeezing the trigger. It's a beautiful thing.
I think this year I really want to have fun hunting.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of pressure on myself last year to, like, in all things like we talked about with archery, is I want to be the best. I want to be as close to perfection as I can get, because that's the level I expect of myself.
I think that's a good thing for everybody, no matter what you're doing.
But I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit.
You wanted to be the best. You wanted to.
Oh yeah,
try to
this
be the
year,
best.
this year I'm very much focused on the process and not the outcome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not focused this year, or at least I'm trying to not go into the year focused on killing deer. I'm focused on learning something every single time, or making adjustments, or getting into the woods quiet, or doing this. Because like we talk, you don't kill a deer every sit. So it's like, okay, how can I take something away from every single sit, whether I see deer or not?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we talked about the contest. Like, I don't know if you guys are doing it this year, but I don't want to be any part of it because I can be so competitive. So where last year I'm sitting there, I'm like, I need to get on the board. I need to do this. I need to do that. And if I have a deer down range, I don't want to be thinking about, am I getting on the board? I want to be thinking about the things I've been working on. I want to be thinking about what I'm working towards. And like that board, whether it's cool or not, like, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
I give a shit about being able to do what I'm intending to do.
Yeah. I've been thinking just what you said. I'm not sure if the contest is such a good thing.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think, like, I don't think we got too wrapped up in it.
No.
Personally, last year, I think we were mainly just focused on killing deer, and it was like a byproduct. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to do something this year. Maybe we got to think about it, but I don't want to do the same thing.
No.
We'll think of something cool.
Yeah. It was never in the back of my mind, like, oh, I should probably just kill this young doe.
Yeah.
So I can get on the fucking board. It was never in the back of my mind.
Me neither.
I don't know. It's tough.
But it's definitely. I feel like towards the end of the season, it started to become a little bit of a driver because me and you were neck and neck, and it's like
I might not have shot that 6-footer.
yeah, you know what I mean. So like, it had some influence.
Yeah.
But it definitely didn't. It didn't take anything away from me. Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, mainly I'm hunting for meat, but hey, I want to kill a buck too. And this year, that's kind of my goal. Is I want to fill my freezer. I want to get it full. I want to get through the summer like I have this year. I still have deer meat. I'm out of steaks though, which sucks. But
I got plenty of steaks. You want some steaks?
yeah,
I
might,
some steaks.
might. But I got some from you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you didn't take them.
I didn't take them.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, you can have some too if you'd like.
John's fucking.
You freezer that full?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want my goal for this year is I want my freezer full. I'd like to get a nice whitetail buck, one to put on the wall, and I'd like to put a stag on the wall too. Those are my goals.
I want a buck this year. It's been it'll be 3 years without a buck.
Yeah.
I need one.
Yeah.
That's my main focus. And when we go down to Sikaville, if it's a Sika deer, it gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's more realistic. Like, a realistic goal is I want a Sika deer. It doesn't have to be a stag. But I would really like it to be a stag. Yeah. But if I get a stag, or if I get a Sika deer, I get a buck, and I fill my freezer, then that's a successful season in my book.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you want to go down to Blackwater and you have yet to purchase your permit, do it right. Meow.
Yeah, because those permits will sell out.
Yeah. How many do they give out?
1,500.
1,500. And when I bought mine, there was 1,100 left.
Wow.
And I bought it that day.
Same day.
Yeah.
That it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they might be going already.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would really like a Sika deer this year, just because of how much time we put into that. But outside of that, I think I would be really happy if I come out of this season on a positive note. I think this season I left with a lot of what if, and I think this season I'd like to think of, okay, what can I build on rather than what can I like fix, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that that's the beauty of the sport, and I think I'll always be thinking that because I mean, I'm not going to be naive and sit here and think that I'm not going to miss a deer this year, and I'm not going to take a shot or make a shot that I didn't want to make, but I'm trying to limit that. I'm just trying to, like I said, point that needle in the right direction.
The learning never ends, and I think that's why we love it so much.
Yeah, because it's an endless pursuit. It's like, I don't know, like a video game that the storyline just keeps going. You know what I mean? Like it does. There's no beating this game. You're not going to beat it. You're never going to be a perfect hunter. You can always be better. You can always kill bigger bucks, and even if you kill a fucking monster buck, 220 buck, there's other bucks out there that are going to get you jazzed up just as much. There's other species out there. I mean, like this, it's endless, and that's the pursuit of these animals is just with each one, even with whether it's a doe or a buck or a hind or a stag or a cow or a bull, like whatever it is.
I've heard Labrador Retriever.
That fucking Labrador Retriever. It's the pursuit of them is that's the fun part.
Yeah, you can think you are 100% prepared. You can know that deer is going to walk down this trail at this time, and he'll
throw you a curveball.
Yeah, he'll come from 6 yards behind you, and you'll be just, what the fuck just happened?
Or you can be on the beach at Aztec Island and think it's Sika deer's coming down this trail, and it's a fucking horse. You just don't know. You know.
Speaking of horse. Congratulations to my old man.
Hell yeah, baby.
Miami Gold for the motherfucking win. Delaware
First
Park.
place. God damn, I wish I could have been there.
Oh, it was fucking awesome.
How did that feel when you watched him or her cross the finish line?
It was, I've never been more proud of my old man. And, like, Sam was there. He almost cried.
Yeah.
He was so proud.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's badass.
Your sister was there. She's seen. It was awesome. She broke out the gate third. She came second all the way around, and then once I got to the front straightaway, she got on it.
Yeah.
And won by, I think, four horse lengths.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
So a solid win. Like,
yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's close by horse standards, but it doesn't sound close to me.
No. We all got a picture in the winner's circle. It's a beautiful thing.
So he still has her?
Yeah.
Nobody bought her? Okay, so she's going to race again.
Yeah. And if she wins again, somebody probably will claim.
Is that his intention, trying to sell her?
No, but that's just how the horse business goes. You know, you put these horses in, they're called claimings races, and if somebody wants to claim that horse, they gotta pay, but they can take it right from you.
Really?
It's not your horse anymore. It's kind of fucked up in my head, but
Yeah.
to him, it's just another day.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's awesome. His second race, he got to win.
Third race.
Third.
Yeah, first race was third, second race was second, third race is first.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's like consistent improvement, and he's training this horse. He's there day in and day out working with this horse. I mean, it's
Took
pretty
a
badass.
Took a horse that was damn near ready for the glue factory.
Yeah.
And turned her into a winner. So
That's pretty wild.
pretty fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
Shout out,
John.
Big
Shout
John.
out, Big John.
How much did you win, babe?
How much did you bet?
Oh yeah, I put $50 on her to win. Everybody thought I was silly because you can bet to win, show, and place.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody puts 10 to win, 10 to show, 10 to place. I said fuck show and fuck place, and I put 50 to win. And everybody was like, "You're a silly bitch." And when she crossed the finish line first, I was like, "Yeah, get fucked."
Get fucked.
I won $210.
God
Hell
damn,
yeah.
hell yeah.
That's sick.
Awesome.
Damn it, I should have went.
Where'd she race at?
Delaware Park.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Now-
next one, if it's on a weekend, I'd love to go, so let me know.
yeah,
How often does a racing horse race?
it's different for females and males. Males can go about every 18 to 20 days. They're a little more tougher. Females can go about every 25 to 30 days.
Now, when you watch like the Kentucky Derby, those are males.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
I think only 3 fillies have won the Kentucky Derby, but they're all 2 years old. So.
What's the difference between a filly and a mare?
Filly is a filly up until 4 years old.
Oh, okay. And then it's a mare.
Then it's a mare.
Gotcha.
How old is Miami Gold?
She turned 4 in March, so she's a mare.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I got a shooter pass for us. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to start bringing them back.
Yeah.
Deer season's right around the corner, so we got to get back on our shit.
Yeah.
Lacing toilet seats. So what I mean by that is laying toilet paper down on a toilet seat on a public toilet. Shooter pass.
Pass.
Pass. So you just raw dog that thing.
No. Here's what I do, because there's always a what's this shit called? Hand sanitizer dispenser in there. I on some toilet paper and I sanitize.
Oh, wow. So you're like full-blown cleaning this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I work in a quarry, and that's all I can take shit in.
Yeah.
And I work with some gross motherfuckers. So I sanitize the shitter seat.
Is there any like finger painting done in them blue rooms? No. Yeah, that's good. That's good. At least it ain't that bad.
There's some carvings.
Oh, okay. The racial slurs, of course.
Yeah.
What about you, Ron?
If it is obviously disgusting, I will not. But most of the time, I just raw dog it.
Okay, so sometimes you'll lace it.
No, I just won't do it.
Just don't
If
go in
it's like
there.
I'm talking, if there's like shit all over the toilet, I'm like But
Yeah.
like if I go
Yeah,
in there and
find
it's just
another.
if it's just a normal bathroom, dude, I'm just gripping and ripping.
Wow. Okay.
Raw dogging.
That's how you build your immune system.
It is.
Yeah. I'm a part-time lacer.
Really?
If it's like a really bad bathroom, I'll wipe it down and lace it. Like if there's like a needle in the corner and fucking some shit on the back plate.
I'm not going to that one.
Yeah.
I don't have that option. When daddy's got a shit, daddy's got shit, son.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I don't have like time.
Pure liquid coming out of there.
Yeah, it's fucking like pouring out a bowl of chili. So,
Yeah.
You're freaking shitting in the marsh last year. That's how bad you had to go.
oh yeah, I shit in the marsh. I've shit in the woods many a time. Shit out of my tree stand.
Oh, you tempted.
Yeah, shit on myself. Done it all. You know, I'm a shit connoisseur,
You should
if you
probably
will.
go to the doctor.
I should probably go to the doctor.
God.
But yeah, no, I'm most of the time I ain't fucking with that. I'll wipe the toilet seat off with some toilet paper, but
Yeah.
occasionally I'll lace her up.
I've never laced.
Never.
No.
I never
okay.
have either.
Okay.
Yeah, same as you've never. Even
Now,
as a female.
females hover. I
Do you
I
hover?
found out that was a thing.
She hovers.
She hovers.
I've never hovered.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, when I'm taking a shit, I'm in there for the long haul.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not busting up
My
the
quads would be lit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
I'll have a fucking wicked pump coming out of the shitter.
Yeah.
Like now, when you hover, do you like put your feet on the toilet seat and hover, or do you like just?
I don't gargoyle it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you know, gargle the
I
toilet.
thought maybe she she gargled.
What do you just like put like a hand on the back?
Yes. And I'm like,
That's
holy
too much work.
Yeah, it is.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm a man who has to have a bidet.
Yeah.
I love my bidet. Don't talk about my bidet like that.
That thing's great.
I hate that thing.
John doesn't even brush his teeth anymore. He just turns that thing on and smiles at the toilet. That thing's got some pressure sound.
Yeah, dog. You turn that bitch up to 10,
Yeah.
you're cleaning your throat out.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
No.
You gotta
give that
shit?
thing a
Which
whirl.
bathroom is it?
Upstairs.
Upstairs. I
got
might
it.
have to.
You got to give it a whirl. It's pretty intense. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
And probably wash that swamp ass out from fucking hanging tree stands today.
Yeah. How did that go?
It was hot.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
really
creek
hot.
was completely dried up.
No shit.
Yeah, we were going to go for a swim after, but it was really low.
Yeah, we were going to go take a dip because it was fucking 95 degrees out. And we just couldn't find like any depth to that creek. Like, I mean, the creek don't get that deep usually, but I mean, there was definitely spots to jump in. No, dude, there was very little water in that creek.
What would you call that contraption we hung? Is that a ladder stand?
No, it's a hang on.
What was the sticks? What would you call those?
Those are just old sticks.
Dude, fuck those. Whatever those are, Seth's like, yeah, I'm like, I can just walk right here and just climb right up and hunt. I'm like, dude, fuck that. I'd rather take the extra 3 minutes and use my climber any day of the week. I was like, this would sketch me out.
It's
Especially at like 4 o'clock in the morning. This is the one where it's like you step up and then it's like you got to grab up here. It's not like a clear ladder.
They're
it's
fucking
like
old sticks.
pegs. Dude, fuck
Yeah,
that.
It's so much nicer to just walk in the woods with your bow.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful fucking thing.
Yeah. I think if you sit in a hang-on a couple times, and I feel like you haven't you sat on some of my hang-ons?
I've sat in a hang on my first 2 times ever hunting and
Okay.
never again.
No.
So yeah, dude, it's nice walking in, and I know like that those old sticks aren't like the best to climb, but they're nice. Whatever, it's no factor. Like you can climb them. They're not fucking hawks or they're not nice new ones. They're the old ones that like they slide into each other, and there's straps on them.
That's what I got.
Yeah, but they work just fine for a hang on. And I mean, dude, you walk in with just your bow and your harness on, it's kind of nice.
Now those sticks that you hung today, like, is it those sticks where when you ratchet to the tree and then you're climbing them, you only have like the tips of your toes on them because they're so close to the tree?
Nah. These ones are pretty easy to climb. Yeah.
Yeah, what are the ones that like the screw-in steps?
Yeah, fuck
I've seen that.
those
Fuck
things.
that.
Yeah, those suck. I have a stand with them right now.
That's how my dad always hunted. Every morning he'd go in, he'd screw the steps in and sling his lock on off his back and hang it.
Yeah.
Every single time. And then when I got old enough to do it, he would hang mine and his.
Yeah.
That's a bad motherfucker.
He
Yeah,
would
fuck
hang
that.
like in the morning.
Yeah.
How early did you guys get in there?
He was pretty fucking quick with it.
Really?
Yeah, he had it down to
So he'd
science.
climb up the tree, screwing steps. Okay, here you go, and then go to his tree.
Yeah, he'd screw a step in, all the way up to the tippy top, and then he'd throw the lock on off his back, chain it up, good to go.
That's a great dad.
5 minutes. And then he'd go to his tree and do the same thing.
Yeah. That's a lot of work. Screwing them steps
Yeah.
in it takes some effort.
Your fucking forearms are burning.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to do it quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How old were you when you shot your first deer?
Oh, it was youth season. So when does youth season stop? 16, 18? I don't even know.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, it was my last youth season, so I was 16. I shot her. It was a doe. I shot her with my 20 gauge single shot. Dropped on the spot. Boom, baby.
How excited was your dad?
It
Was your dad? I'm assuming he was with you.
Yeah. Youth season, you have to have somebody with you. He was I don't know. He doesn't like to show emotion that good, but I know he's excited.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like it was like a growing period. Like this is how I feel. Like I was a boy, and then I shot the deer, and like we walked up on her, and he stuck his hand out like to shake my hand, like congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah. And he was like, now you're a man. Let's go to the strip club.
Is that what you did with Wyatt?
Yeah, actually.
Stuck a fake mustache on him. And
What happened when you
Took him to
walked
show
up to
and
that
tell.
deer with Wyatt? Did you shake his hand?
I hugged him and I told him I was proud of him. And
It's a little different when he's 8.
yeah, it was. I didn't get choked up till like I was so proud of him. He was so excited. He was jumping up and down in the blind, and like we went over there and he was so pumped up. Like he was like on the verge of crying just from excitement. But I remember walking out. We're dragging this doe out, and I made him help me drag it, and it wasn't a doe. It was a button buck, but
40 pounds.
yeah, that thing was, it was tender. But I made him help me drag it, and so it was cool. It was like a whole thing, and I remember just getting back to the truck, and the sun was setting, and I looked over at the sunset, and it was just this beautiful sunset, and I was like, God's painting this sunset for you. Like, that's when I, almost cried. I was like, God's painting you a sunset right now.
It's fucking powerful.
Yeah.
Do you think say you killed like a 10-point buck next year? Do you think that I feel like that would pale in comparison to seeing Wyatt shoot that
Yeah,
deer?
no, I don't know if anything will feel that man.
Really?
That was pretty intense. It was but it was different.
Yeah.
Like if I shoot one, it's a different feeling. You know what I mean? Like with him, it's just a feeling of just pride and just like I was just so proud of him and happy for him. You know what I mean? As to when I do it, I'm just like, oh, I fucking got it done. Yeah. Like all that work, just paid off. You know what I mean? Like everything that's how I felt when I shot that one last year. Like after 3 years of fucking shouldering bucks, Like you guys know the issues I went through with
Mm-hmm.
the couple years leading up to this. It was just like, oh my God, like it felt like getting a monkey off my back. As to with Wyatt, it was just pure joy and pride.
Yeah.
It was just different. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, pride is
Yeah.
that's a hell of a feeling there.
Yeah. Yeah, just proud of him, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I felt when you shot your first deer.
I remember that first time and seeing you over there give me some fist pumps, and I was like,
I was just like in the tree, you know, like happy for him.
I mean, that's like the coolest thing about it. It's like when you're around other people and you know you're happy for them. Like we talk about the Sika deer hunt, and we like to give each other shit. Like I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna shoot a monster stag, and you guys are gonna, whatever. And I'm really the thing I'm looking forward to most about that trip is not even like going into the marsh, not even like the Sika deer, but it's like a hunting camp. It's like a cool thing to do together.
Yeah.
Like we're all going in and it's gonna suck. Like we're gonna be tired, but like we're going in together. And like the moment somebody walks out of that marsh with a freaking Sika deer dragging it, it's just like I'm gonna be
somebody. You should say me.
I'm gonna be so proud of whoever that is, just because of that moment. Waking up early. We're gonna be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting in that marsh, setting up, getting eaten by mosquitoes, and then if you get that opportunity, man, it's just gonna be.
It makes it so much sweeter when you have to suffer for it. When something is so hard, and then you succeed, it makes you just so much prouder, so much more sad. It's so much more satisfying. You know what I mean?
Doing it together.
Yeah, and having the camaraderie of there, it's cool. It's like having that like hunt camp is badass.
I remember that moment, and hopefully this doesn't bring up bad memories, but the last hunt we did in Blackwater, and I'm sitting over, and I didn't see. I was like adamant about wanting to sit in this spot. And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, I feel like this is a good spot. I'm gonna sit in this spot. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna go over here. So I climbed up my tree. Dark came over. I climbed down. I'm like, dude, where the fuck Seth at? And I'm like, all right. So I knew what direction you went, so I started heading your way. And it was obviously past last light. And I remember walking up to you, and you had your headlamp on, and I'm like, what, did you shoot? And you're like, yeah. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. I'm like so excited. I'm like, Seth just killed a Sika deer. Like, we're gonna track this thing. We're gonna be dragging one out of the marsh. Like, I remember being so. As soon as he said, "Yeah, I shot," I was so excited. So happy for you. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we wanted, but at the same time, it's something to be said about, like when we're doing that together, like we're doing it together.
Yeah, it's like if one of you guys shoot one, I'm almost as excited as if I shot.
There
one.
is zero jealousy.
Yeah, none.
Zero.
Yeah.
That's not even it's not a thing.
No, it's like. It's just, man, especially because you're putting all this work in, and everybody's hiking in, everybody's suffering, everybody's waking up fucking early, everybody's fucking trudging through the fucking frag and all that bullshit. So it's like if we just get one, it's like a team thing, you know what I mean? It's almost like we're all going. If one of us gets one, fuck yeah, we won that for that day. We won Sika Deer 0. You know what I mean? So like that's my mentality.
Go to the home team.
Yeah, and then the next day we're gonna wake up and do it again, and fucking. Hopefully somebody else gets one.
I'll tell you something. If I stroke a Sika, I'm not going the next morning.
Now, how are you guys going to feel when I shoot one every day and you guys don't shoot any?
I'm sorry. What?
Then will you guys be a little jealous, or?
I'm confident.
That's just
look. I was telling
fairy tale.
I don't know if we're all if we're gonna take multiple Sika deer. I'm very confident us going in. We're gonna get one. I think all of us are going to get an opportunity. I think all of us are going to see Sika deer. I mean, we were leaving Unit U last year with a guy who he'd been there since Tuesday, and he's like, I never even saw one.
Damn.
And me and Seth both had opportunities. We both shot, and right as he said that, one ripped a bugle less than 100 yards next to us. And I really would just like you guys to experience that, but again, I'm more looking forward, not even the Sika deer, man. I'm just looking forward to just being together and suffering together. Because you know how it is when that alarm goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning and you just contemplate your life. And
do I really want to do this?
all right, we're doing this. I remember sitting there in that time we saw that monster stag, and I'm sitting there in my tree. I'm 8 feet off the ground. and it is pouring rain. I've never been more cold in my
It's
entire
40
life.
degrees.
I'm freezing. I'll never forget that storm coming through the marsh, and it just roared through that marsh, and I was legit scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know about this. We climbed. We were 8 feet up. And I remember looking over at Seth multiple times, be like, you know what? If Seth's still sitting here, like, I'm still sitting here.
I'm sure you thought the
Like,
same
like
thing.
we're doing it together. But like that's the beauty, like doing.
if he gets down, maybe I'm okay
If
with
he
that.
gets down, I'll climb down.
Like, it's like all right, Seth's up. He's drinking coffee. Like, I'm not gonna let him down.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the beauty of a hunt camp. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I think at the end of the day, if one of us gets a sick of deer, like we'll always all remember that.
And it pushes you having each other, like you were saying, like just knowing, like, all right, you're going, I'm gonna go. Like, even though like you might not even want to do this, or like, and this year, like honestly, if we get some bad weather, boys, especially after seeing that last year, hey, I'm going.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear they will move in whatever weather. Because they moved. Ryan's like, fuck that, dude. Like, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going. You know what I mean? And I hope one of you guys will go with me if they storm like that again. Because you know what, dude? We're going down there. We're on a fucking mission. And the upside to that weather is, guess where everybody else was?
Nobody was there.
No one was there. They're on the couch.
The beauty of it, like you look back, like I drive through Cambridge whenever I come up here, and I look at the Cambridge diner where me and Seth, we got breakfast one day and just both shit our brains out. This place did not even pay for ad-free music. We were listening to more commercials than we were music.
Jesus.
But like you look at that in like hindsight, and every time I pass that Dorchester County Walmart where me and Seth walked in and bought that pink inflatable, like that's cool memories,
Yeah.
you know, that you'll always have.
Yeah, those are priceless. I mean,
I know.
even your Runsky with your
We had a terrible time.
terrible time. But it was still a fucking cool memory, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
forget-
Fucking
I
ripping
remember.
through the marsh in the fucking dark. Like, I mean, that's badass, dude.
Until the prop up took a shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I ordered a prop. It'll be here Monday.
Monday. Hell yeah. Well, we got to go do some crabbing.
Yeah.
I say we go down to the Chester River, baby.
Yeah?
It's not too far of a drive. I've heard they're catching them there, so.
Yeah, I say we just go on the elk and we tell the old lady we caught him in the Chester.
There is a difference between Chester River crabs and any other crab.
She said there's a difference between Chester River crabs and any other crab.
I'm a crab snob.
I think
You agree with that,
I
right?
think the Chester River does have the best crabs.
Thank you.
Yep. I do. I agree with that. And honestly, we could go out on the elk, but we're not going to catch shit.
No, not right now.
No.
That's like September.
Late September, if that. Yeah, and it's been a rough year from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think the Chester River's heating up, though.
I just want to go. That's the thing. We go down there, we'll catch a bushel.
Fine
That's
by
all
me.
we need.
With the Chester River.
Yeah. No, we'll go down like Rock Hall or something, and we'll catch a bushel.
Yeah, I got to make sure the boat's legal.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? You guys run a trot line?
Yeah.
That's the easiest way, I feel like.
It is the easiest way.
It takes up less space.
It's the most successful way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's fun. It's the most fun way. Pulling pots just ain't that fun.
I couldn't imagine being a commercial guy and using pots. I mean, they use bigger pots, so I guess they can fit
Yeah.
more crabs. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of commercial guys run trout lines too.
Yeah.
So it's they're not all run pots. There's a lot of commercial guys that run trout line.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, and they can run fucking 5,000 foot.
Yeah.
We can only run 1,200.
Yeah.
Which is plenty. You know, we'll catch enough to eat. That's for damn sure. We're not gonna leave empty-handed. And if we do, we'll stop and buy them on the side of the road, and we'll tell everybody we caught them.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I looked up prices yesterday. They're not as bad as I thought they would be.
What is a bushel?
Oh, shit.
God, you're getting old.
185 is popping in the head. I think that was half a bushel, though.
Yeah, that's half a bushel.
Yeah.
A bushel's got to be more than that. Probably 350.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even in the threes.
Really?
Maybe 260, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Those numbers seem awfully close.
Yeah, but no, it was not over 3.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a problem for us because we're going to catch them.
Exactly.
Just like we're going to kill the fuck out of some deer this year.
Hey, baby, you ain't a fucking kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys got anything else for us? We're a little over an hour here.
I don't have anything. Ryan, you got anything?
No. Oh, what shooter pass? Vests.
Vests?
Vests.
Pass.
Like vests, like warm weather, cool weather vest.
Nah.
I'm going to shoot, man. I got a vest that's like it's like a dress vest, I guess. It's like leather, and I'll wear like a flannel and I'll put the vest on, and dude, it keeps you warm, but your arms are like ready for kung fu. You know what I mean? Like I'm ready to fucking go. So I like them.
I think I'm gonna get a vest.
Nah.
I think for like a mid layer, like what else could you want? You could get it if you have like a nice hoodie. You put it right under the hoodie, keeps you warm, keeps your arms free. And then all of a sudden you upgrade, it gets cold. You put your winter jacket on, you just put it there. I think it's the ultimate mid layer. I don't know a more versatile upper body piece of clothing.
It makes sense.
It does.
This is a
sense.
conclusion I came to today.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like then your arms are less like restricted because you don't have layers on your arms, so you're more like mobile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wore a vest one time deer hunting. I think I talked about it last week, and I missed that doe. But that was because of gloves.
Yeah.
But I did feel like I could have jumped out of the tree and, like, karate chopped her bitch ass.
Here's a shooter pass. That's fucking 3 in 1 show.
Oh, my God.
Gloves.
Not
you like
a
to
fan.
shoot your bow with gloves on
I don't even wear gloves.
at all?
No. Because I can't find a pair that keeps my hands warm, so what the fuck do I wear them for?
So what is it? What do you do?
I just stick them up in my fucking armpits until it's go time.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm gonna pass. I don't like gloves. I've tried them a couple times, especially on the bow arm. I think it's just unnecessary bulk. You can practice with gloves, but at the same time, like I'm not practicing with gloves nearly as much as I'm practicing with the bare hand. I just don't like them. I think you're better off with like a nice like sealing pocket, and then you can put some hand warmers in there, and then just deal them with the cold if the opportunity arises. But I'm not doing gloves.
I'm with you.
Turkey. I wore gloves because I'm using a shotgun.
Yeah.
But there were really light gloves as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot because I wear gloves, but I don't wear a glove on my shooting hand, on the hand with my release in it. I wear one on the one that I hold my bow with.
If it's brutally cold, I'm with you there.
Yeah. And I'll still put like hand warmers in my pockets and put my hands in my pockets until it's time to go, and then I'll grab my bow. But that way, like I'm holding my bow and it's not fucking freezing my damn hand, because that's brutal, man. When it's January and it's fucking 19 degrees outside and you're holding your bow and that deer won't step out from behind that tree, that sucks.
Yeah.
So you leave your bow, your release attached to the bow.
Yeah.
When it's that cold.
Yeah. And when it's super cold, I put my release in my pocket because I don't want it getting super cold hanging on my bow.
God, this just sucks the warmth right out of you.
Yeah. My release will sit in my pocket on top of a hand warmer, and my hand will be in there with it, but
We should make a release that's carbon fiber. Delete that. That's a good idea.
yeah, we're going to make that. We're going to 3D print it. Stay tuned.
When it comes to staying warm, this is a question I have for you guys. Do you use anything to keep your face warm?
Yes.
Like a full-on, what is it called, a baklava?
I don't know what that is.
Baklava.
Baklava.
That's a fucking,
Like a
Balaclava?
big head sleeve.
it's like the,
That's what I use.
yeah.
I don't use a full mask. That's no.
I like, see, I usually have a beard,
Yeah.
and I just kind of tough it out, but
right now you look weird.
I know. I had to shave my face for work for a respirator fit test, but the beard's coming back. Give me 3 days. That thing will be pure testosterone.
Oh God.
I like to use, or I don't like to use, I have no choice. Well, I do. I use prescription glasses when I hunt because I see better with them. And if I put something over my face, it makes the glasses fog up.
Oh.
So because of that, I choose not to wear anything on my face.
The things that get coldest on me are my toes first, and then my fucking ears.
Really?
God, my ears get so cold.
Yeah, I always have my ears covered.
Yeah. Well, that's what that head sleeve or whatever the fuck it's called does for me.
Like a beanie.
Yeah.
It's not a beanie because it goes over my whole face. Like I slide it over my head.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like the old like burglar mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. And I'll use something always to cover my ears, but my hands and my feet are what gets cold first.
I can't believe in, 5 months we'll be freezing our fucking dick off up in a tree.
Yep.
How long do we got? 48 days until opening day.
48 days till deer season. Here in Maryland, anyway.
I told you guys last year I'm like late season. I was like, dude, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not like late season. I'm just not gonna hunt anymore because like there's no deer. Now I'm like, man, I would kill to get in there in freaking late January.
Yeah, right now, this time of year, I long for the sweet embrace of the ventum in the woods, just climbing up a strong tulip poplar, smelling the scent of doe piss on the wind.
Yeah, I mean, the Ventum's a good bow, but I prefer the Helix.
It's a few miles back. It's not a bad bow. I can't wait to walk into the woods with a weapon in my hand, knowing. Yeah. Just that alone, like that is what I long for.
Oh, the poll on Instagram.
Yes.
You put a poll up on our Instagram channel, Beers_Deers_podcast.
Let me look at that. Let me bring up the data.
It was
It wasn't what I expected.
me neither, actually. It was do you shoot fixed blades, mechanicals, both, or am I a loser?
Yeah, I don't.
I do not. I don't bow hunt.
Which we actually got
Quite a few.
2 votes for that.
Oh, okay. Losers.
Yeah, 2 losers. But we got 45% of people shoot a fixed blade.
Good for them.
32% of people shoot mechanical, and 13% of people shoot both.
And the Outdoor Drive podcast, is that who they're called?
Yes.
Said
They shot us a message and said
Hybrid.
that they shoot a hybrid.
we've
there's
never
such a
even
thing?
talked about those.
Yeah, I've never messed with them because I feel like it's, you think like, oh, it's the best of both worlds, but I kind of think it's the worst of both worlds.
I'm with you.
Like, you're getting the accuracy of fixed blade, which
Yeah.
is subpar, and you're getting the potential issues of a mechanical. So it's like,
Yeah.
But at the same time, in theory, if it doesn't open, you're good. If it does open, you're great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, maybe. I wouldn't be opposed to trying them out.
I'm sticking with the old Thunderhead. They didn't
I've
get me
never
wrong.
even heard of them.
No. It's a hybrid. It's a fixed blade, and it has mechanical blades that open on impact.
Yep.
Never
Pretty-
heard of them.
I mean,
I'm
pretty
about done.
interesting.
I'm about done with the Thunderheads.
Really? They
Yeah.
didn't fly good for you at all, did they?
No, like we talked about the missed opportunities last year. If I wasn't an idiot and tested my broadheads,
Yeah, well.
besides just taking the word from the Beers and Deers podcast guys
Hey.
that they fly true.
that was your first mistake.
If I did some tests myself and just didn't take your word for it, I would not have shouldered.
They
like
flew
3 deer.
like a field point for me.
Yeah.
They
Well, you shot the
flew-
125s, though, and so
Yeah.
did I.
100 grains flew anything like a field point.
And that could have been how your bow was tuned, but I think more than anything, it was probably just the broadhead because they were shaped different.
Yeah. And did you have the broadheads lined up with your fletchings? No, you didn't.
No.
And that could have been a factor.
That's why that rubber gasket's on there, so you can tighten it and line the fletching or the blades up with the fletching.
Oh, if only
Yeah.
the Beers and Deers guys had told
Well, now
me
you
that.
know.
Yeah. Now you know. You heard it here first. And it like you definitely, more importantly than anything, is you got to shoot your bow with broadheads. Like, I'm sighting my bow back in right now. I'm doing it with broadheads. I'm
Yeah.
not even. The sight tape I'm selecting, everything. I'm with the broadheads that I'm shooting in the field, which is going to be a QAD Exodus.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm sighting my bow in with broadheads.
I might come over tomorrow and brave the heat, and because it's really bugging me that thing's not sighted in.
Yeah. Yep, I got to finish sighting mine in, so
I'm gonna be shooting.
come over early.
Yeah.
Shooting the Schwackers this
you on
year.
Swagger?
Swacker's a good broadhead, man.
They fly like a field point.
Yeah.
I don't like that. The entry wound is nil. Like there's no I mean obviously there's a wound, but it's not as big
Yeah,
as rear deploying mechanicals.
yeah. I get you. I get that. I mean, but man, they've done well for me.
Yeah, I killed one deer last year with them, and she didn't go 20.
Yeah.
I think they just fly great.
They do.
They're not super expensive.
Yep. I can't remember what I shot that one doe with at 56 yards. I think it was a Schwacker.
Those Levi Morgan Schwackers are they're tits.
I don't
Yeah.
have the Levi Morgan ones. So
Those
I gotta,
are nice because you can lock them and shoot them.
I got to figure out how to practice with my normal Schwackers. They come with the practice heads, and everything I read online said they shoot just like the regular ones do, because it's the same thing, just locked in.
Yeah. That should work. But if that doesn't work, you can put electrical tape on them.
Just over the blade.
Yeah. So that they won't open.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I got like 8 or 9 of them that I've just accumulated, and I feel like they shoot good. I just don't ever want to hunt the Thunderhead experience again. I'm about done with that.
Hey, man, they killed every deer I'd had this
The
year.
buck I shot was with a Schwacker. Every deer I've killed with a bow has been with Schwacker. I mean, it's only 2 of them, but
Well, stick with it. I love the Grim Reapers. They never did me wrong. I don't know why I steered away from them.
Yeah, they were great.
Great broadheads.
I think you wanted to try some fixed blade, that's all.
Yeah, I don't really.
Honestly, they both work.
Of course,
You
they
know,
do.
they both work fine. And is there some risk with both? Yes. I mean,
what's the risk of it not opening?
pretty low?
Very fucking low.
Yeah. I think if you hit bone, you're in trouble with a mechanical.
Yeah.
But as long as you make a good shot, you're fine. And the thing of it is if you make a good shot with a mechanical, you're gonna have a gaping wound,
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
and that deer ain't going far at all. It as to with a fixed blade, they're gonna go further. They're not gonna bleed as much.
That's very true. I didn't have a lot of blood on blood trails this past year.
is the
Yeah.
fixed blade going to be really that much better on bone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that mechanical has to open, and it slows that arrow down so much.
So much. It's gonna have a really hard time punching through your shoulder.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
Yeah. But once again, you come back to at the end of the day, as long as you make a good shot, it doesn't really matter what you shoot them with. You can shoot them with a fucking field point. If you hit them in the heart, they're gonna die.
It's crazy how much your archery setup changes year to year. Like, I look at my bow this year compared to last year. I'm shooting a totally different release. I got a totally different stabilizer, front and side stabilizer. You know, I'm shooting totally different broadheads than I was going into the year. And it's like I'm constantly thinking about all this different shit I want to get.
Shit.
You guys
changes.
are shooting 80-pound limbs.
Yeah,
shooting totally
baby.
different
Yeah.
arrows.
We're all man.
I weighed my arrow today. I got lighted knocks, and I weighed my arrow today. It was 528 grains.
It's not that heavy, but it's not that light. It's right
Yeah.
there.
And they're still cooking.
Yeah.
I'm like a 23 on the sight tape,
Okay.
so it's still pretty quick.
I'm probably going to be a 3 or a 4 on my side tape,
Yeah.
which is they're probably different for spot hog and CBE.
Yeah.
But 3 on CBE is ripping.
Yeah. Yeah, because 1 is like the fastest, right?
1 is the fastest.
Yeah, so you're fucking cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. I love it, man.
I can't wait to see what an arrow does the first whitetail that walks by.
Oh.
Because I blew through every deer I shot last year with 70 pounds.
Yeah.
So you said, let me just one-up it.
Well, that's just.
Let me just
see what
overkill.
happens. Yeah, let's just overkill.
Yeah.
God forbid an elk walks by.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to be able to kill
You
it.
know, they don't. You know, they live about 600 miles away. But
Yeah.
what if?
You never know.
What if a side of beef walks by?
Yeah.
Now, shoot or pass.
My
If
God.
an elk were to walk by,
Ice in that fucking
could
thing.
you shoot? Would you
Ice in
shoot
that
it?
thing. Calling
In-
Kevin. I'm fucking quartering it out.
If you're in Cecil County, Maryland, or Harford County, Maryland,
Legally? No.
and an elk shoots by, like I'm talking not even like crazy, like a cow elk.
Ice in it.
That thing walks right by you.
I thought
You're
it was a
like,
big doe, officer. I'm sorry.
What? I mean, yeah. What do you do?
I'd have a really hard time not shooting it.
Yeah.
It'd be really an interesting.
I know there's fallow deer in the wild,
Around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly.
allegedly, but there is a bag limit for them.
Oh, is there?
Really?
Yeah. I don't
You know what? Yeah, I think I've seen that in
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah, they escape from captivity and
Yeah. I mean, apparently there's even Sika deer in Newcastle County.
I think that's a load of shit. That thing must be retarded.
I'm really surprised with the Sika deer. They kept the bag limits the same. Because the way DNR does it is every 2 years, right? So at least the bag limits are going to be the same for 2 years. They kept the bag limits totally the same. Everything was the same for Sika deer. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't, one, either reduce the amount of Sika deer you could shoot or make a Sika stamp.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a real easy way to make money for DNR. Like, even as an in-state resident, I would have paid for a Sika stamp. And then it's just ridiculous to me, and this is beating a dead horse, how cheap a Maryland out-of-state license is. Like, if you make that thing $200, people out of state are still gonna buy it, and it's just that
300.
much. It's just that much more money.
Yeah.
It's just, it drives me nuts. And I'm not one of those Sika deer conspiracy guys who's like, oh, they're trying to kill them all. They're trying to do this. I think they're trying to manage population. But it blows my mind that they didn't do anything. And there's people killing. You can kill, what, 3 stags a year, and then you can kill 12 Sika deer a year.
Well, do you think maybe they're trying to control the population so they keep them contained so that they get the out-of-state hunters down there to spend money and help out the local economy?
I think they're just trying to boost tourism
Yeah.
with it. I think the first 2 weeks of October, they get Dorchester County gets a huge tourism drive where like those hotels get booked out, the restaurants get a lot more business. I mean, it makes sense for them. I just think that they could charge more money and probably get the same amount of people, but get
Oh, of
more money
course.
going towards habitat restoration and whatnot.
I think they should make a out-of-state Sika tag the same price as the out-of-state elk tag.
Yeah, now out-of-state elk tag is crazy.
Yeah, maybe not quite as much because you're getting so much more meat out of elk, but I think it should be comparable. You know what I mean? Like, let's make a out-of-state. If you want to come hunt Sika deer in Sousa County or Dorchester County, $250
Because
Yeah.
where else can you do it?
here.
That's it.
Yep.
I can go to Colorado. I can go to Wyoming. I can go to Montana and shoot an
Go to
elk.
fucking New Mexico. Like, yeah, and their tags are fucking outrageous.
What,
but we're
700
not.
for a cow?
We're barely benefiting from it, and it might knock down a peg on some people that come to hunt them. Maybe not.
I think it would.
Probably a little, but I think the pressure is killer. So we could do something like that, and then I wouldn't even be opposed to dropping the bag limits a little bit.
I would be totally fine with them making it like a 1 and 3. Like, you get one stag for all seasons and 3 hinds.
Yeah.
What?
And I would make it any stag. You shoot a spike, you shoot a 6 point. I know there was like they sent that survey out.
Is I got a question for you. Is stags? I don't. And you might not know, but so like with whitetail bucks, if it's a spike and it's got under 3-inch antlers, it's considered an antlerless.
I looked it up. I forget the exact terminology, but any antler protruding is a antlered stag.
Okay, I think I read that too.
Yeah.
that-
So it's any visible antler, and it's not a antlerless deer.
So it's bow season, and you've shot nothing.
Okay.
It's day 2
Okay.
in the morning, so it's Tuesday morning
Of October.
of October when we're going to hunt them, and a spike walks out with 2-inch spikes. That is your only stag tag for archery season.
Letting it have it.
You're eating them.
100%. Don't pass on something the first day that you'd be happy with on the last day.
Yeah.
If I shot that thing on the last day, I'd be thrilled. Obviously, if a 6-point stag walked out the next day, I'm gonna be pissed. But at the same time, the silver lining is I know I got a stag already.
Yeah.
You know, I've got Sika deer meat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might change. It might change the next year, but just knowing that I have one, I think would make me view that as a success.
Yeah.
I mean, I just really want to taste that. We've heard so much stuff about that meat, man.
Yeah.
I really just want to try it. You know, I'm not going to name names, but if you guys get a Sika deer, it's 100% responsible to me and my connections. I've got a lunch or beer meeting with the godfather of Sika deer as soon as my honeymoon comes to a conclusion. So hopefully we'll have I'm like not looking for spots. I'm just looking for knowledge. And I think the more knowledge you get on it, especially with our spots, we're going to be better off. But for a Sika deer, if it's got antlers, I'm cool with it. And, you know, I think if I get one and I tag out, then I'll hang out with one of you guys and try to film or try to do something to get the other person their deer. But I'm fine with a hind.
Yeah.
So here's my question. The average Maryland hunter gets 2 whitetail, and obviously there's these anomalies like me, you, Kevin, who kill upwards of 10. Do you think that there are some people down there that fill?
Yes.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but private landowners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Private landowners that have feeders. I mean, you see the stuff on Facebook where they have a feeder on like a floating dock system.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, I mean, they got it down to a science.
I wanna get some private land down there and create a cage where they walk in and it shuts on them.
Like wild hogs.
Yes, and then we can load it up and bring them up here and release them into the wild.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah, we could do it at port and release them into the wild.
Until they develop that place.
Yeah.
But it's
We'll
not.
do it at the quarry.
That's the coolest thing. The coolest thing about them is like, it's not even that it's not a whitetail. It's not even like the actual species itself. It's just something a little bit different, and it's just a destination. Like even for me, living pretty close to Sikaville, it's something different to go. Like when I'm hunting, it's like a destination hunt, you know. So that's a super cool to be able to do. Like I will think I'll always be a whitetail first guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if I get to go hunt elk once every 2 years, like I'm not gonna all of a sudden be an elk only guy. But like
Yeah, hell no.
It's super cool to just be able to be like, hey, let's spend a week and let's focus on something else. I think the bigger question is, it's day 3 of Sikaville. We're sitting there. We're not that far in the marsh. We're in some flooded timber. It's 7 a.m. first light, and a nice 8-point buck walks by. It's not a Pope and Young, but it's not a basket. It walks by. It's 20 yards broadside to you. You hear some bugles in the distance, but you got that guy 20 yards. It wouldn't be that much of a crazy drag.
And I haven't shot anything.
You haven't shot anything. You've
Oh,
got
well,
a
it doesn't
couple. You
matter.
got a couple
Doesn't
does.
matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It's
You
a nice.
hear- you
It's a
hear
nice
some-
8-point buck.
It's like the size of the 7-pointer you shot last year, but it has all 8 points.
I'm probably gonna let him walk.
Really?
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I'm letting have it.
I'm letting him walk.
The first whitetail doe that walks past me in Sikaville's getting iced.
Now I think about it, I passed on 2 whitetails
You're out
last
of
year.
your
There was
mind.
what, a 4-point,
Yeah.
When we're-
4-point buck.
and I just let it walk because we were,
I was looked at Ryan. I was like, "Don't you do it, you motherfucker!"
and I didn't.
He didn't do it. Props to him. I wouldn't have been that mad if he did.
Yeah.
But I would have been a little mad. Because it's like, them hikes in are a bitch, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, and here's my thing to you guys. If you shoot a doe out there, you're dragging that bitch by yourself.
I think
I'm
it's-
not helping you.
I think it's different.
Bullshit.
We've done marsh, and then we've done flooded timber.
Flooded timber
shooting-
ain't that bad.
Shooting a deer in flooded timber, it ain't that bad. You shoot a deer deep in the marsh, you're a motherfucker.
Yeah, you do that. Your opinion's gonna change.
Yeah.
When you walk through a fucking mile of fucking frag and shit, and you see a doe walk by, you're gonna be like, no.
I'm watching.
I'll shoot you at home, honey. I ain't dragging you out
I'm
here.
watching Alone right now, and I'm in the Patagonia season, and this lady stepped in quicksand, and she's like complaining about it. I'm like, I know exactly what that feels like, where every step you take, you're like, oh my god.
Ryan is a guy who, like, he welcomes a challenge. He's fucking a go-getter. He likes a fucking long hike. He likes busting ass. Dude, when we paddleboarded, or when we rode those kayaks out to that island, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do.
Ryan was, like, legitimately, like, not having a good time. He was like, this is fucking terrible. He's like, this is hell. He's like, this is hell.
This is a beautiful hell.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's a beautiful hell. This place is gorgeous and
Dude,
pretty.
I'm telling you, walking in that place in the morning, you know, we have to be real careful with our steps. Otherwise, you step in 3 feet of marsh. It comes up above your knee. I literally, there was a couple times where I'm like, Seth, hey man, you got to take my bow. I got to figure out how to get out of this. You get in there, you get to the spot you want to hunt. It's all briars.
Yeah.
You're not hunting based off the best tree. You're hunting on the one that you can climb. You climb, you get down, and there's literally spots where I can see Seth 15 feet from me, but I cannot get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that miserable, and you're coming back, and the tide's changing. You take a wrong step and you're waist deep in mud. And I talked to a guy, shout out Will Bratton, great man.
Shout out.
Great dude.
I met his dad. And the first thing he said, we were talking about Sika deer. He's like, don't go in that marsh by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, I get it. Like flooded timber, I'll go in by myself. Woods, I'll go in by myself. That marsh, I will not go in by myself.
If it wasn't for Runsky, I would have sat out there and died last year.
Yeah.
Because I stepped in the same fucking shit, and I was up to my fucking Adam's apple.
Yeah.
And shit.
And Runsky had to help you out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he turned around and stepped in another hole, and I had to help him out.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for either one of us, we would have just sat out there and died.
Yeah.
You ever tell the story of your first time at Taylor's Island on here?
Oh, years ago.
I was
This
supposed
was before the
yeah.
podcast.
I was supposed to go with him.
Yeah, this was before the podcast. Me and my sister went out. This was 2017?
No, it was 2019.
2019?
Because I was in Virginia.
Okay. 2019.
It might have been 20. No, it was 2019. I was dating Krista.
Okay. And we went down, me and my sister went down to hunt Sika deer, and we decided to go to Taylor's Island. And I borrowed a canoe from one of my buddies at work, and we took old White Lightning down there. And we got down there, and it was November. I think it was late November. And it was frigidly cold, windy as fuck. We got to this boat ramp, and I'm looking at this water, and it is just choppy as shit. And I look at Steffi, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. And she's like, all we can do is try, you know. And we fucking load the kayak up, put the climbers in there, all our gear. We brought tents. We were going to, like, camp out there and everything. And, dude, we just battled it, the water, just trying to get over to land across this fucking river. And we got over there, and we started walking in, and I'm just looking around, and we're just walking through this fucking needle grass, and it's just, we didn't have muck boots on. We had regular boots. And we were just like, this isn't even, this is not doable.
There was no land.
There's no land. Like, it's mud, and you sink, and like, we got over there, and we tried to walk for a little while. We got off, got back to the canoe, tried another spot, and it was just, you couldn't do it. You couldn't go. Like, we could see trees, like, where, okay, maybe if we can get there, we could put up our tent and pack and camp out. But you couldn't get through the grass and the frag and the new grass. It was completely undoable. So we ended up turning around, going back to the truck, and we went and got drunk.
Yeah. Well, I remember Seth, because I was supposed to go, and I didn't have my hunting license. I was just going to go to hang out.
Yeah.
And I bought a sleeping bag, everything for the trip. And Seth texted me, was like, hey, man, this is just not doable. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? And now, like, I remember you guys talking, because when me and Seth started hunting them, we were only in flooded timber. And you were like, oh, well, because you didn't get to Chance Island, right?
No, we were on a different island 200 yards
But
away.
Chance Island, yeah. So I'm like sitting here, I'm listening to you talk about Chance Island, 200. I'm like, how the fuck did you not just get there?
No.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm listening to podcasts, or I'm on, I guess I was on that one. I'm like, come on, man, you could have made it. And then me and Seth did what we did, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, we came back, and we were like, when the tide changed, and we were like, man, thank God the kayaks are still there.
Yeah. Because they were floating when we got back.
Yeah, the little tributary that we went up through, you could get to, I don't remember the name of the island me and Runsky went to. You could just pull right up to that island. But Chance Island, you would have had to park in the frag and walk through the frag to get to Chance Island. And it wasn't doable.
Yeah.
And whatever, I don't even fucking remember what island we went to, but don't go there because there's no Sika deer there. So.
Because you guys didn't even hear a bugle.
We heard a bugle about 600 light years away, but not on that island.
But you got your Blackwater pass this year.
I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't stupid.
He's got it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Dude, Blackwater's a game changer.
I can't wait to hear that first fucking bugle.
Oh, dude, me and Seth heard it our first. I will never forget that moment. We got there so early in the morning. We got there and we got out and we were like, man, these stars are crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we started walking, and we walked about a quarter mile. We got into those woods. We got 10 feet in those woods, and I'll never forget that look when you heard that bugle. And we were like, wow, this is like, we were kind of like, this would be fun. Then we were like, it got real,
We were like,
real
oh
quick.
shit, we might fucking kill something.
Yeah, like you think you know dark, motherfucker. You don't know dark.
That's dark.
That is fucking dark. When me and Runsky were in the boat, 4:00 in the morning, and he had a spotlight out. It wasn't even cutting through the darkness.
Yeah.
It was sketchy.
Yeah.
And then some local whizzed by with this fucking spaceship on it.
Blair and Luke Bryan.
Yeah. Fishing. Yeah. I was like, we are not prepared for this.
That's how we learned about how different those Sika deer are when we're eating lunch and we're like, we're about to head out there, and the guy's like, I'm not gonna out there for 2 more hours.
Yeah.
And we're like, what?
I'm
And
sure
then you
there's
said you guys were sitting out there, and all of a sudden, like, real late, the boat started flying in
Yeah.
to go hunt.
As you guys are coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's anomalies where people have killed him at noon, but how rare is that?
Well, this guy, what was he saying? Sick of 30? He's at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
He's at 10:30 with Sick of 30. And we're like, I don't know about that. I do think I'm going to sit this year. I'll sit. Because, I mean, we got nothing else to do. Because, like, I'm not going to go to Blackwater and then go home.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Ellis Bay, I can go home because it's 25 minutes.
Right.
But
But Blackwater, I think we sit till 10.
I say we sit till 10 because regardless, we're just going to sit in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then go to the Wolford store and hang out with those
Eat
guys
some
and get a good
lunch.
sandwich. That's a cool spot you guys haven't been to. Maybe take a nap in the truck after that. But, yeah, I think hunting until 11.
This is all assuming we don't kill anything.
Well, I mean, as soon as daybreak comes and there's one bugling right under my tree, he's like,
Yeah.
"Rrrr," and I stick him, he's go, "Rrrr." Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this will be.
Another bugle that I remember fondly is that one you were talking about when we were walking out with that guy, and he was hunting with a recurve, and
Wow, that's a
He had the
bad
trad. He had the
motherfucker.
trad life shirt on.
Wow.
He's from
and,
Pennsylvania. Shout out.
Oh, good for him.
yeah, he had a podcast called The Push.
Okay.
But
Don't listen to
or
him.
he was on there or something like that. But he was the one who said he hadn't even seen one all week.
Wow.
He heard them, and we're walking out, and and that's what made us hunt over there.
Yeah.
Remember? That's where we seen the 6 more
With your
stack.
unicorn raft.
Yeah. That's what made us hunt over there because we're walking out, and we hear this just. And we all just stopped. All 3 of us just stopped and looked at each other and we're like, God damn it. These motherfuckers. It's such a fucking tease because it's like you just fucking hiked your ass off to go out there to kill these fuckers and you hear them all around you and you're like, motherfucker. Like, just come near me.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. I
Well,
cannot fucking wait.
I was telling Seth earlier today. I was like, I had the Summit Steel Climber,
Yeah.
and the first morning in Sickaville made me realize that just wasn't it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I walk out and I'm like, it was so brutal. And it hit this thing like, again, me and Seth aren't weak individuals. So you're like, oh, we go from 30 pounds to like 15 pounds. But like, dude, it adds up.
Yeah.
Because I remember walking out of there, like literally walking out of the woods the first day and like, dude, what do you think about this climber? What do you think about this? What do you think about? I'm like, dude, this just is not it.
Yeah.
Well, I have half and half. I have a top of my climber steel and the bottom's aluminum.
Yeah, so it's a little lighter.
Yeah. What a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be good, especially because
I'm a bad motherfucker.
yeah, you're not unfamiliar with this shit.
Yeah.
And we're a lot more prepared this year too. As the last year, we were blundering around a little bit.
Blundering.
Yeah.
Now
like
we
this
have.
year, at this unit that we're going to, we know exactly where we want to go.
We know exactly where we want to go, and then outside of that, we have 3 or 4 other spots that we feel confident that we're gonna see some Sika deer.
Yeah.
At least we know the species well enough that we can probably, and I want to expand, probably not this year, but next year into other units.
Yeah.
To where like we can probably. You always say, what is it? If you see the way broadly.
If you see the way broadly, you see it in all things.
So like once we know this unit, we can go to
Book of
another
Five
unit
ring.
and start seeing stuff, and but we have like a lot of different options that we'll hopefully see some Sika deer. So that's why I'm very confident this year. And then obviously like talking to Gary from Blackwater's Edge, he helped out a ton. I'd love to meet up with him again. Meeting up with the godfather of Sika deer. I'm not going to name names. but hopefully getting an opportunity to pick his brain, not about spots, just about how the species operates and the differences. I think will
Between them and
go
whitetail.
a long way of really knowing that. And then again, luckily enough, where I live, there's DNR agents that happen to walk in my path.
Yeah.
And they happen to be in Dorchester County, and I just happen to ask them some questions that they're happy to answer.
You've definitely made connections down there.
And that's the thing about these fucking deer, man. It ain't like elk where you can go online and there's forums on Reddit and fucking you got all this information. Like, dude, there's nothing out there on these things.
Zero.
There's almost too much. Like on whitetail, I can look something up online
And get 50 different
and get
answers.
50 different answers.
Yeah.
And I always just say with strength and conditioning, the line of work I'm in, everything's right and everything's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just for everything I can prove to you, like, how this is going to make this athlete better, somebody else can come up with a completely different ideology that completely contradicts what I'm saying, but they both work.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like whitetails the same way. Everyone's got their unique style. With Sika deer, there's nothing. We feel like we're hunting in the 80s, and it's kind of cool that I'm not like, oh, dude, let me look up online how to do this. I'm like, no, I got to, like, go out on a limb and just Facebook message somebody and hope that they reply. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? I'd love to get a beer with you. This is where I live. I'm not from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. You think it's a lot of PA guys coming down there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly PA
A lot
guys.
of PA guys.
I think if anywhere most out-of-state tags are sold to PA hunters.
But PX, like, for how great, and it's cool. Like, we did my bachelor party. We did my bachelor party in PA, and it's cool how like it's not like Maryland where it's just like, oh, this is a natural resource area. Like in PA, it's like safe hunting. Like, this is a hunting area. Like, you can hike in there, but it's a hunting area. Like, PA is a very hunter-friendly state. But what is it like? You can get one buck and one doe.
There you have like a mail-in thing for does. You got to draw them. But yeah.
But for a state like that, it's kind of crazy. Like, no wonder, like, in
There's
Cecil,
so many hunters.
in Cecil County, you guys are screwed
Yeah.
by the proximity to close states. Like, I remember even turkey hunting. Like, I haven't been on since turkey season. And I'm done with turkeys on public land. I'm done with it.
I'm with you.
Archery season, I had empty parking lots. I'm getting to these spots a half hour like before I think I should, and I pull up and there's 4 trucks, and there's a Pennsylvania, there's a Virginia, there's a Delaware, and I'm like, motherfuckers. I'm sitting there with my decoy out.
Yeah.
First light, and 2 hunters are stumbling by. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
People love those fucking turkeys, and personally, I don't get it.
You know, Cam Haynes said it best. I was listening to a podcast with him. He said the best thing about hunting, the best thing that happens when you kill turkeys is you kill a turkey.
Yeah.
The best thing that happens when you hunt elk is you kill a monster freaking bull elk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, that's true. Like, the turkey's cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was telling Seth this earlier today, I'm like, dude, I might go once next year. But, like, this year, I was like, man, something to do in the spring. I, like, got some calls. I was practicing. I was scouting turkeys. This year, fuck them. As Will Bratton says, fuck them. Sika deer, fuck them turkeys.
I'm going to go until I get one.
Yeah.
And I will get one.
Yeah.
I almost got
But
one last year.
I tried turkey meat. My buddy got one. He got some wild turkey meat. It sucked.
Really?
It sucked.
Huh.
I'll take a store-bought turkey, and it
It's like
wasn't
a butterball.
but it wasn't like beef. Like, obviously, like, I think a good ribeye is better than like a venison steak. But, like, obviously the venison steak means more because it's free range, it's organic.
And
you harvest it
it's
yourself.
still fantastic.
A butterball turkey shits on a wild turkey. And again, if the Bayside Legion guys are listening to this and they know how to cook it right, I'm sorry. But as someone coming in, it sucked.
Yeah, a lot of people cube the breasts up and like batter them up and fry them.
It's just not worth it for me.
I understand where you're coming from.
When I hunt, you know, I was talking to my grandfather yesterday. He was like a fair weather hunter back in the I guess like the 60s. But he's from Pennsylvania, and he's probably only killed 2 deer his whole life. But you know, their backyard is a ton of field. And I'm like looking through binoculars at like a nice little doe walking through, and I'm like, oh, I'd love to shoot her. He's like, that's the difference between a hunter and a meat hunter. He's like, a hunter goes for antlers, a meat hunter shoots whatever the fuck he wants. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. And I was like, with the turkey, dude, there's nothing there.
Yeah. That's been my thing the whole time. Has always been like, it's hard for me to get real excited about putting all this work in for one meal.
It was cool, but it wasn't that cool.
Yeah.
Like, I was right there. I was on the edge. I just fucked up.
Yeah.
But
Same for me.
Yeah. And it I'll shoot a button buck and get a lot more excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a hell of a lot more food.
Yeah, even with a fucking 40-pound button buck.
Yeah.
I feel like the Sika deer is a lot like a turkey and how they communicate and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more meat with that, and
it's
it's
a lot-
red meat.
and
It's
it's a lot
not
better.
poultry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like people
Getting
tell
so
us.
much more reward.
I've never met anyone that said Sika deer wasn't one of the best game meats they ever had. I mean, Steve Ranella, didn't he
And
say?
how much has he eat?
Yeah, he's
So-
eating everything.
I mean, it's like from what I've read, it is elk veal,
Yeah, which is fucking bonkers.
which is crazy for something that eats like briar bushes and
Mushrooms and bark.
Oh, well, yeah.
God,
I
and
like
the fact that
mushrooms
they
too,
taste
but-
that good.
Well, you know, when I kill mine, I'll give you guys a taste. It's
Yeah,
fine.
of course.
We've talked about it, and hopefully Kevin and Brandy are on board that whoever kills one first, we're gonna take it, we're gonna process it down, and we're gonna have a little feast with
Oh,
that
of
first
course.
one. All of
Yeah.
us sharing it, because I mean, like I said, we're all in it
We're all
together
putting this
on
work
that,
in.
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
and that'll be the feast.
I want to
of
eat
feasts.
it while we're there.
And I can't wait to just watch you guys just feast on my Sika deer.
Oh man, I've watched you feast on a thing of mine, and I understand that way you feel. Yeah.
Now, John, you shoot a Sika deer. It's a stag. It's like a spike, but it's a long spike. I don't know the terminology for that because I feel like for a Sika deer, there's a difference between like the nubs and long spikes. You gonna get that mounted?
Probably. It's cool as shit. I'll probably get a fucking hind mounted. That's
Yeah.
dope.
I would get the pelt for a hind.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd
They're
get
dark.
a hind melted, but or pelted. Or you know,
But then, would you get a taxidermy after you mounted it?
Oh god.
hind? Went right over my head.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? God, I just can't get over that feeling. One of us is gonna walk out of that marsh with a stick of stag.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
More deer just draped over our shoulders.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a good year
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great year.
Sika deer and whitetail. It's gonna be a phenomenal
across the board.
year.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking slay some does. I can't wait to put a fucking 530 grain arrow through a doe.
Ripping out of an 80-pound bow.
I just want to get. I'm gonna try to get one
I'm
opening
gonna
weekend.
knock her over. Like it's gonna hit her and she's gonna just fucking hit the deck, dude.
Oh baby.
God.
If I get one opening weekend, the floodgates I think will open with how much pressure will be off me.
Yeah.
Like Seth, we were talking. I feel like I've said that 100 fucking times today.
It's fine.
But me and Seth have communicated over the course of the last 24 hours, and he was talking about, man, how much pressure would be off if I shot a big buck opening day. And I'm like, man, I feel like it'd be the same if I shot a doe opening day. So much pressure would be off that I'd be like, I got meat in the freezer. I'm good to go.
Yeah. Like just something about getting that one out of the way. It makes you feel like, fuck yeah. You know, like, all right, let's do this. You know what I mean?
game
Like,
on.
yeah. I'd love to get a buck in opening weekend. That would be fucking tits.
I feel like for last year it was such a shit show for you. Your first deer.
Yeah. Yep.
3 arrows. That arrow that some say is still in that tree. That lighted knock is still lighting the way for many travelers.
It was like 8 feet up in that tree too. It was higher than that. It was like, God, that was a shit show. I can't do that this year. Like I gotta get my.
And then you cut your hand.
cut my thumb.
You shot 3 arrows and cut your hand.
Yep.
That's bad news.
That was a rough opening weekend. Then we went to fucking Oktoberfest.
Ugh. Got real shitty.
Got fucking rip-roaring drunk.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it was a great time.
Oh yeah, it was. All right, gents, we're border. Well, this is the longest podcast of all time.
Is it?
It is. Our battery is getting dangerously low,
Ooh, baby.
and I think we had some fucking awesome content. That was great, great run.
Stuff. Good stuff. You should move back up here, and you can just be our third guest every time.
I don't deliver enough content on a regular basis.
Nonsense.
I don't deliver enough to even be compared to the great Kevin Dvorak, but I'm coming for you.
You hear that?
I love you, Kevin.
Hell's coming with me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the fuck out of you guys listening to us. Give us a like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review, nothing less.
Yeah, don't even review it if you're not going to get 5 stars.
And we will see y'all next time. Stay tuned. We'll be back a lot more often. Season's coming. Motherfucker.